What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here, doing what I do best, talking out the side of my neck. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe button as we have pledged to provide you more content here on the HABSS Sports Show, as well as check out our full episodes wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to. Speaking of episodes, our most recent episode, Punched in the Mouth Weekend, that's the title, we focused on teams literally getting punched in the mouth this past weekend in one way, shape, or form. We talked about the conference championship games, and Jimmy, in his not so excited voice, discussed with me about how the run game was supposed to be very dominant over the weekend. At least that's what we expected. Jimmy's a diehard Niners fan, so I had to give him a little crap because we're both excited that his team is back in the Super Bowl. And I kind of wanted to expand a couple of thoughts when it comes to the Chiefs and the 49ers winning. 49ers winning their respective conference championship games. When it came to our predictions, I put out there that I feel like the Niners were going to win about 27-20, barely covering the spread, and the Chiefs were going to win in a blowout. Didn't expect it to be anything worth anything. But Jimmy came with another angle on his solo show, which was shocking to me. He felt like the Titans were going to finish out that game victorious with a dominant run game, along with the 49ers doing the exact same thing against the Packers. Well, now we know the results. It's obvious who's going to be in the Super Bowl. So we're pretty excited about seeing the way that happened. And I kind of want to talk about dominance of the run game. So I've been listening to a lot of reports and a lot of media conversations around run game and dominance. And everybody's wondering if the way that the 49ers were playing, is this going to be a new trend that we're going to see in the NFL? Similar to the way the 70s, 80s, and 90s kind of was, where it was a pound the ball, downhill running with running backs, and you pass kind of when you needed to or out of necessity in certain circumstances. And I don't believe that that's going to happen. The NFL is a league of trends, but that's one trend that's really hard to continue long term, especially with the restrictions that they have with the CBA. And when it comes to practicing, the 49ers did a great job of having their linemen be able to build a chemistry early to where they were dominant at the line of scrimmage, actually on both sides of the ball, which is very fascinating. But chemistry, when it comes to offensive linemen, it only comes whenever you practice together. And with the latest CBA, they made it to where they limited how many practices teams could have. That way they could recover better. But that actually kind of led to mediocre offensive line play. Just do some research. You'll see that that's definitely the trend that we saw out of that. But the Niners, to me, what they did, not to me, but what the Niners technically did is they took the Astros route, like the Houston Astros, in baseball, and they were really bad for like 5 years. Like 2014, they actually have the worst winning percentage in comparison to any other teams. Actually, they're second worst. Only team that's worse than them is the team that's always worse than everybody, and that's the Cleveland Browns. But with that, they were able to accumulate a lot of good draft picks, bring in a lot of good players, young players, and then sprinkle in some veterans here or there. Now you see a much more dominant defense as well as some really good offensive line play. But I also don't want to water down how good Kyle Shanahan did as the head coach / offensive coordinator. His play calling was superb, especially the fact that he's been criticized most of his career, especially after the debacle with the Atlanta Falcons, where everyone said he should have ran more and he kept passing it, and they lost the Super Bowl, a 28-3 lead. Yes, that Kyle Shanahan. Completely different offense this year. Literally all run and occasional Jimmy Garoppolo. And I kind of want to talk a little bit more deep in that, but we'll go into that one on our next show. But back to your punch in the face play, the Niners did that. And Jimmy alluded to that in depth on the show. So listen up to that and you can really hear his analysis on why he felt like that was going down. And then when the Chiefs came in, they did a completely different approach. Now, the Titans literally run a similar offense as the 49ers. It's pound the ball with your running game, dominate at the line, dominate in the trenches, pound the ball down with big Derrick Henry. And the Chiefs were honestly like a young Iron Mike, eating all those punches from the Titans. Like Mike Tyson used to eat those jabs. And then they came in with some ferocious uppercuts, some ferocious shots that literally knocked the Titans back on their butt dang near instantly. I mean, they went up 10 points. Chiefs got up to made it a 10-7, went 17-7, and the Chiefs rattled off 28 straight points. They're literally the Golden State Warriors of the NFL. How fast they can score points. I mean, it's ridiculous how quick they were able to do that. So we got a lot of those jabs, and we got those uppercuts from the Titans and jabs from the Titans. So the Chiefs with uppercuts, Titans jabs. Obviously, we know that the uppercuts are going to win long term, mainly because once you land one good one, it's a wrap. Shout out to the Chiefs for doing that. So Patty Mahomes, I think he's probably the most exciting player I've ever seen in my life. I mean, that's a high praise I can give him because Michael Vick has done some great things. Lamar Jackson is doing things. Randall Cunningham. I've seen a ton of quarterbacks do amazing things, and I think he's probably the most amazing overall, especially when it comes to passing the ball. The dude's beyond accurate. But think about how great of a player he is, and I want some comparisons. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who do you feel like he really is a model of? I'm hearing Aaron Rodgers' arm. I've heard Donovan McNabb, Dante Culpepper's great 4,000-year season. I'm hearing a lot of different things, but I'm really curious. What do you feel like is a good comparison for Patrick Mahomes? I want to know. And then the last thing I want to leave you guys with before I sign off is with the 49ers. Their game plan literally was to run the ball and not let Jimmy Garoppolo, I guess, lose it. Now, I alluded on the show that I didn't feel like it was that much of them not playing him out of fear, but ask yourself this question. If it was a different quarterback, let's say Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, anybody else but Jimmy Garoppolo, do you think they would have not thrown the ball more than 8 times because that quarterback is in the game? Ask yourself that question. So as we prepare ourselves for the Super Bowl, keep an eye out for my solo show. I'll have a lot of great topics. Zion Williamson is coming back, so I'll be talking about that a little bit more in depth. I'm going to go in a little bit about nepotism and the NFL and why the Rooney Rule, a little bit more on that. And then, of course, heroes versus villains. I'll be going a little bit more in depth with my battle with Jimmy in our series in the NBA. As to me, with Zion back, the NBA season just started. So it's now time to pick your players to root for to build up that interest. I'm signing off. Deuces.